that's pretty much how we handle the stuff, and everybody pretty much gets along, man, for real.
Well, I know we all definitely love that. You got some fire emojis in the chat when you said, pull them to the side because sometimes you're right. I just love that response. So with that being said, I have one more question before I send it back to the team. I want to talk a little bit about character development because in your novels you craft intricate characters and narratives, right? So how do you ensure that this depth translates to the screen, and what unique challenges does the film pose in character development compared to your writing? Because sometimes it can be easier to write a book, than it is to write a script. So how do you carry that over from book to film or vice versa? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so that's honestly kind of easy because, like in a book, you have to write everything. So when the reader's reading it, they know everything. When you're doing a film, right, they can't say everything. So you have to create that narrative with little moves here and there. Like, the guy got a nasty look on his face. That means he always angry. He always up to no good. He always he have him pick the gun up off the table so let everybody know, oh, he on that type of time. So it's little stuff like that you could develop the character like that. It's like it's called like little film tricks and stuff like that. So it's basically like let's say somebody's like a wild card, right? When they come in, the first thing they do is I need a drink. It's like, oh, she one of those type of people. So you create it like with little stuff like that, so that way they don't have to talk and say these things. So it's like the audience can pick up on like what's what and what's going on just by how you're directing them and how the little shots that you're doing.
Love that. Thank you. So team, I'm just going to pass it over to the next mod. So, um, here you go. Let's go. Okay. Team.
Solo, do you want to take it?
Yeah, I was reading, I was looking at some of the stuff in the chat. I was going to hit some of those questions that people asked. So there's a question, Candy. She said, do you have an academic background and has it attributed to your maneuvering through the industry?
No, I don't. I don't have any school background. I have a GED, and that's it. I never went to school for filming. I never none of that stuff. I just learned from experience. I just started doing stuff and made a bunch of mistakes and learned from the mistakes.
The second question is, what does networking look like for you?
Networking is eh, networking is like I like to network with people in person. I like to network with people who I'm working with, right? Just because when I had went to a couple of networking events and stuff, and a lot of people just be talking, man. They just be playing games. They don't be serious. They waste your time. They tell you all the stuff they want to do, but they ain't doing nothing, right? And I want to be around serious people. I need to be around wolves and sharks and killers like me. And you know, a lot of those networking events, it's like people who just like starting, right? And a lot of them may not know how much work this stuff entails, and you're gonna have to sacrifice something. And a lot of people are not ready to sacrifice like that. When you just talking to people, you could tell if like I said, if they're a shark or if they're a wolf or not. A lot, it's a lot of sacrifice. You might not be the best husband or wife. You might not be the best father. You may not be that because when you're trying to be something, you got to go all the way in and you got to sacrifice something. You have to give up something to be able to gain the success and stuff like that. Like it's going to be time, it's going to be energy, it's going to be, I might not can make it to the cheerleader practice or something like that, but you're going to have to give up something to do it. And a lot of people, you know, just that I talk to and stuff, they talk like it, but it's a lot of work, man. It's really, really, really a lot of work, and that's why it's not a lot of people doing a lot of stuff because once they start, they see how much work it is, and it's easy to just quit and do something else because like I said, it's not for the like the weekend stuff like that. This is serious business stuff like that. But I like to network with people who I'm actually working with and pick their brains and just learn. I like you have to keep learning as well because everything changes like every day, especially with all the technology and all of the stuff. And so I like to just network with people who like I'm around and stuff like that. And the people who I'm around are all doing stuff, so they'll introduce me to somebody else who's doing something, and then I can network with these people because we all like wolves and sharks and stuff like that.
So, Empress, how do you feel about opening up the questions to the audience?
Yeah, I feel fine with it. I had one more question, and if that's okay, but I
Okay,
think
yeah.
that the audience is waiting, so I can definitely let's open up the floor for the audience. So, and then we'll spin the block on it. So with that being said, the stage is open. If you have any questions, simply unmute your mic. Remember to be respectful, and not try to talk over each other. With that being said, the stage is open. Let's go.
I do have a quick question. So, are you a fire sign by any chance?
Who?
A fire sign?
What is that?
Oh, your zodiac. Like, are you a fire sign?
Oh, I'm a Virgo.
Oh, you're an earth sign. Okay, okay, okay.
A lot of Virgos are known to be very creative. That's what you're creating. They say a lot of creativity comes from Virgos. That's
Yes,
good.
and perfectionist. um,
Yes, that's what my son is. My 7-year-old son is a Virgo, and he do not like to do things, like to have things out of order. And I love that about him.
right. Okay, let me. Anybody want to ask anything? If not, I'll go ahead and ask. No? Okay. All right. So can you share a time when a project didn't go as planned and how you navigated it?
Yeah, that happens all the time. Every project that I do, something goes wrong. What can go wrong will go wrong when you're filming, and that's just how it is. That's why you have to be a wolf and a shark, and you have to know how to maneuver and adjust because someone doesn't show up every project. Yo, it's the last minute. Somebody had a death in the family. Somebody car broke down. It's always something. It never fails. And you just got to be able to pivot and maneuver with it because that happens like all the time. Or one time I was filming in a location and the owner wasn't there to even open up the location in time because the owner was like, "Oh, I forgot." Right, so I got the whole crew out there, waiting for 45 minutes for this food to come and open up the spot. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff you got to be able to deal with, but you got to be able to pivot and you got to be able to think quick on your feet because it's always problems are always going to happen when you're doing film because it's too many moving pieces for everything to go right every time.
I love that. I definitely have another question for you. It's related to like emotional truth versus liberal truth. Literal truth. I'm saying literal. I know I talk really fast, so I do apologize. So in storytelling, how do you differentiate between emotional truth and literal truth? And how do you ensure that your narratives resonate emotionally with audience while also being grounded in reality? Because sometimes people can go too far with a narrative, but it seems like you got it down pack on how to easily shift from side to side. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, so pretty much it's just about the audience, man. I know who the audience is, so it's certain characters are going to be villains, so they got to be a little bit over the top but not too over the top. Then you got your sneaky people where it's like, oh, I can't stand her, I hope she get caught, so it's like you just got to be able to write a certain way, but it still has to be realistic and it still has to all intertwine with everybody. And like you said, you just can't go too far left to where it's unrealistic and people start saying, "Oh, this is trash," or "This is not. This is unbelievable." You know what I'm saying? You got to still have that balance to where it's a little bit overboard, but it's still more relatable to everybody.
Thank you so much for that in-depth answer. I love that. So I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say it was a difficult question because you are a Virgo and it seemed like these questions are easy for you. So are you ready for the next question? So, okay, so the question I have for you is you just talked about how you navigate, between reality and not going too far into disillusion. So, how do you navigate the tension between entertainment and social commentary in your work? Are there any particular social issues you feel compelled to address through your narratives? Like, is there any issue you feel compelled, like, you know what, I'm gonna put this in a movie, I'm gonna put this in a book because this needs to be spoken on. It's not spoken on enough. I need to represent this issue in your work.
Yeah, a lot of stuff, man. Me, I'm power to the people, man. So there's always some messages in the shows and stuff. Like I have a movie called "It's Lonely at the Top," and it's Lonely at the Top is about this guy who used to be a drug dealer and he's now buying real estate, and he's telling everybody who don't have a felony, like, get your gun license. Don't walk around with the hood stuff with the gun on you and you get caught and go to jail. Like, if you're gonna have a gun on you, right, go get your license. He's like teaching the people, like, we don't gotta live like this anymore. And that's why it's called Lonely at the Top, because everybody ain't gonna get that. Oh, you soft for talking like that. You turning weak now. So it's Lonely at the Top is actually one of the good movies and stuff like that. But yeah, man, you got to hit some of the stuff, but you just don't want to base everything around it. You can hint on it because then it takes away the storyline. It seems like you wrote a storyline around the social issues that's going on at the time.
Thank you so much for that. Miss Candy, you had a question? I
Yes,
don't
I
know.
wrote it in the chat. I'm at work right now. I can't really.
Okay, I'll go ahead and read your question. So the question from Miss Candy is, what has profit and loss look like in your journey as a filmmaker, residual, mental, and physically, excuse me, mentally and physically?
Yeah, everything has been good, man. Mentally, mentally